evening, ladies and gentlemen. Comes to you live from our comfy couch here in the outskirts here, and that's the Gaming Saloon reviews for September 1st, 2025, which hosts Pittsburgh 2448 and wrap it up, Salon.
Hi.
We have Gaim this week.
Yep.
Or Gaim. As I'm sick, so I'm not doing the recaps for once.
Yep, and fun fact, the first 2 episodes for sure are probably going to be the majority of me reading the recap and then kind of paraphrasing.
That's fine. I usually just do the notes, that way I have something to like go off of and make sure I remember order of events properly. Because normally my notes are not all written out like we have currently, because we're using my yieldy reviews from when the show aired the first time around. Normally my notes are like, I don't know, a sentence or 2 per scene.
Yeah.
So these are probably more helpful notes instead of whatever mad ramblings I write down for any other show.
Sometimes debatable, because sometimes this can be too much, but you were actually doing in-depth reviews or recaps at the time. I can't say reviews because it's not really what they were.
Well, there was a review at the end, but I've cut the review for these notes.
Yeah, because I mean, we kind of vocalized that part of it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I guess for roles reversed tendencies here, we're doing episodes 21 through 24. You got any thoughts before we jump into them?
It was nice to not end on the form change episode.
Right? It was nice to, actually get to see the form do something, which I forgot that was what they did with this.
Mm-hmm. Like, I remember this is how Kachidoki debuted, which is part of the reason people love Kachidoki, because, this is probably the best, the best fight Kota gets for a new form.
Yeah. At least the most memorable, I guess, would be the best way for it.
Yeah, because this is, like, with all the character stuff, this is Kota going, nope, this is the line, no further.
Not to mention, I mean, Kachidoki is probably one of the few forms in Rider that was, and I don't mean this in like terms of strength, but in terms of how it was portrayed, at least, probably the strongest form overall.
Mm-hmm.
Because it both started and ended being the powerhouse that it is.
Yeah. Although I do kind of appreciate they showed that, no, Takatura can still keep up with him even in this form.
Which I have to feel like that's just experience with the driver.
Mm-hmm.
Because we've even seen leading up to this, especially after Kota got the Jumbo forms, he could keep up in base form. Not for long, but he could. And we also later in this see Kaito keeping up with the Sengoku driver against the overlords. So,
mm-hmm. I had to turn around and look at my social. I was like, do I have a guy Kachidoki on my shelf? No.
It's kind of surprising.
Well, I have the Zangetsu Kachidoki, and I don't have a Gaim Jinba, but I have a Ryugen Jinba custom that I did. But I basically like took the parts for that Gaim Jinba, turned it into a Ryugen Jinba, and I never bothered to get a Gaim Kachidoki. Even though I have in the back of it the rest of the Gaim and Baron intermediate forms. one of those things I should probably solve at some point. Anywho,
It
I guess
it would not pay for me to get one because I would have to buy two.
Mm-hmm.
Simply because I would have to intentionally bend one of the flags to show like the end of show kind of deal. Just because I immensely found that funny that broke and they continued it. They didn't stop to try to fix it. No, keep on rolling. We're rolling with this.
I think the only other thought I have is I forgot how dumb the DJ gun is on its ammo selection.
Yeah. And I feel like my bigger problem with that isn't so much the selection itself. It's the fact of it doesn't matter if it's the rapid fire or the cannon shot. It still does the same amount of damage.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning there is no reason to use the cannon shot.
It feels like it needs to be like one less record scratch to select, because it's just like, record scratch to start, turn knob, then record scratch again, and I'm like, we could just do this once.
Yeah.
I get this is for toy purposes, but also it's one too many. Every time.
I guess I kind of can understand it because it's to try to set it up kind of deal. Because it's one of those, the first record scratch is to set the gun into get ready to fire mode, and then the second one's to actually be in firing mode.
Mm-hmm.
But I do agree with you. It feels like it's just a little too much.
Yeah.
Coupled with the fact of, like I said, it seems like it doesn't matter if it's the burst or the cannon, it's the same amount of damage.
Especially when you have to listen to the either slowed down or sped up version of his standby theme.
First and then last.
Mm-hmm. Which, I'll be honest, I kind of don't like listening to the sped up or slowed down versions of them.
I feel like the slowed down version I can deal with better, though.
Yeah.
And I have to wonder if it's because Kachidoki being a heavier armor, it kind of fits better.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. It's weird when you start dealing with timing.
Yeah, especially for a thing that probably was not designed to sound like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess I'm ready to hit the recaps.
Okay, then I guess we will start with episode 21, Yggdrasil's Secret. Let's see. We start out with conversation between Michi and Kota, with Michi trying to be the normal jerk of himself that he is. Because that's where this is the common theme here. Yggdrasil's always right in Michi's eyes, even though no, they'd step back for a second here.
This rewatch has made me really go, oh god, Michi was like a shithead from minute one.
Yeah, but it got worse.
Yeah, but it's like, oh, I see the roots of where everything goes wrong from him.
Yeah.
Now.
And all the more reason why he really should not be redeemed by the end of the show.
Yeah.
Obviously, this doesn't sit right with Kota. Because, main character vibe of, yeah, bad company do bad things. Because really, that's the bulk of Kota's arc.
I appreciate that this whole episode is him kind of coming to terms with what he should do.
Yeah. It's one of those, it's not wrote there just for plot, it's wrote there because it's kind of really this whole arc is kind of Kota coming to terms with everything that has happened thus far.
Mhm.
It's almost like our mid-season upgrade is kind of also the mid-season pause button that we get on everything to try to catch up and get characters in their final arc kind of phase.
Yeah, because we don't cover it, but the Gaim Tokucher like summer crossover special is actually the week after Kachidoki's debut.
I did not realize that, but okay.
Yep. Yep. That following week after Kachidoki's debut is that episode with Gaim and Tokucher, and then we come back to the show after that one.
Okay, was there really anything talked about with all the beat writers in that scene? Because I know you literally have like a quick, they kind of discuss the current events, but I really think that was just what, quick recap and go.
Basically, yeah.
Also, did we have a proper name for them?
No.
Okay. So that was you.
I make up names for stuff all the time. Bear in mind.
I legitimately read
at,
that and I'm like, wait a minute. Did they really? And I missed that?
No. Bear in mind, if you look at my notes, you will see that I call future Mai Red Eye all the time because we did not know who she was when it was airing. And I was like, I have to distinguish her somehow. I'm calling her Red Eye. It's like how, if you go back to the drive notes, you'll see that I call Krim Buckle all the time because we don't know who he is.
For like half the show.
Yeah. So it's like, I can't call him the driver because that's too long. It feels weird to just call him the Belt. I'm gonna call him Buckle. Again, the mad ramblings that are my notes sometimes.
I mean, it works though.
Yeah.
But anyhow, then we cut over to Michi and Takatora, with Michi getting all butthurt that Kota now knows about the forest and about the roots of it, of, you know, being the old civilization.
But not everything.
Yeah, as we find out that that no one from Jaegersil has told him about Project Arc or, you know, their giant death laser. Don't worry, we'll get to that, because both of those will get told to him very quickly.
By two separate people who are like, fuck it, let's tell him, I don't care.
I'm pretty sure at this point, Sid is in the room as Michi's talking to Takatora about all this.
Yep.
Which, guess who ends up spilling the beans about one part of it?
Yeah.
Because I swear everyone is out to not only get Takatora, but also to try to kick Michi in the face as many times as possible, and I'm perfectly fine with that part of it.
Yeah.
But this is essentially where Takatora makes the comment about he really just kind of wants Kota to give up on his own instead of just beat him down like he knows he can.
Yeah.
Fair at this point. That soon will change.
I assume that's because Takatora realizes, like, if I beat him down, he'll just get back up. I have to break him mentally, otherwise nothing will work. And I do not desire to kill a child today.
I don't know if it's so much that, or as if Takatora sees a lot of himself in Kota. Because we've talked about how they are kind of two sides of the same coin, and I have to feel that this is that understanding of that, where it's like Takatora's in this position of he really doesn't want to do what he's doing, but he also sees no other answer. So sacrifice the lives of a few for the survival of the many kind of concept.
the greater good.
And it's one of those, as we do find out, the more we're seeing out of Takatora, that's actually the case. It's not a case of he wants to do this just to do it. It's a case of he kind of feels there's no other answer. Meanwhile, we get to find out that, as I see that you don't actually have that listed here.
Oh.
We get to see Kaito hunting for the first of many overlords in the forest. I don't think we were told about it at that point, is the thing.
Yeah, all we knew, I think, for the episode was Kaito was looking for a figure that has a sword.
That kind of could resemble a keyblade. Sorry, brain couldn't help but go that way.
It's in that same design scheme.
Trying to remember the context of that part of it.
As basically Kaito.
Well, I mean the next part of it, where we go back to Sengoku. Was that just because he had the Genesis core?
Yeah,
he was wanting. Okay, I misread that. Yeah, basically he's wanting Sid to pull out the most data that he can from the Genesis core there. Mm-hmm. So Sid gets to, have his opening to give information that he shouldn't be giving. Because I almost feel like that's Sid's only point now, is just to be the... I would say thorn, but he's not even really that. He's like a push pin kind of deal.
Someone on Team Sengoku has the job, and Sid threw the short straw on that one.
Well, his usefulness has already ran out.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of ran out when the Beat Riders kind of tapered away from the Invest games.
Also, I think this is when he says he gets to pull out his trump card, which is his lock seed, which...
I thought that was after they find out that Koto knows about both.
Okay.
Or no, after Koto knows about the overlords.
Okay, that's fine. Oh, yeah, it is. Never mind.
Yeah. So that's a little bit lighter.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, we get to see Kota and his sister talk about the stuff that Kota now knows as far as the world will be consumed by Helheim within 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
Where she tells him that, honestly, she would rather live without knowing that. Which, fair. I mean, the added stress would be better than the impending doom kind of concept.
Mm-hmm.
Which, unfortunately, this is the same thing that Kota's grappling with already.
Yeah.
Meaning that it's really not helping him any. Well, there is a lot of back and forth between Kota and Kaito.
Yeah.
Which I didn't really clock that because it kind of flows really smooth.
Yeah. When you write it down, it's like, oh yeah, we go back and forth between them a lot.
Yeah. But we see Minato catch up with Kaito as they talk more about the photo. Basically, this is kind of where you can start to see her deciding to put half of her eggs in the basket of Kaito becoming the one. Because I feel like this is kind of that point where it kind of shows the start of what we later see out of her character. Granted, I agree with you. It kind of sucks how they did her. She is forced to be second fiddle all the way through, even though we got that one line from Sengoku hinting that she could be more.
Yeah. It really sucks, especially because she's our only female writer this entire show.
Yeah.
And we were coming off a show where they did a female writer dirty.
Yeah.
And could have had a female writer, but didn't. So it's a nice little trilogy of what the fuck, guys.
Yeah. Then we join back with Kota as he's off to Droopers to get advice from Bondo, where Bondo tells him that secrets basically are powerful and that how you use them is the importance, not necessarily the secret itself.
Mm-hmm.
It's bad that I almost feel like everything that Kota gets told all the way up through this is kind of just pointing towards that Yggdrasil's in the right here, Kota's in the wrong, and I almost feel like that's wrote that way intentionally.
Mm-hmm.
But this gets interrupted by Zack giving a call about some goons are stealing money. Which then gets Kota to let Michi know, and the three of them go to confront the goons. That I don't think we ever get names or literally anything. They're just some goons that decided to say, here's Lockseeds, go for it.
I am willing to bet that those are just a couple of the suit actors for the show.
Probably.
They're just playing bit roles to get dunked on, because this also feels like a Sakamoto directed episode.
Yeah.
I'm almost willing to bet without looking at credits that this is a Sakamoto directed episode.
After you said that, I'm like, that tracks actually. Because that would also explain the out of suit fight sequence that we got before the Inves were thrown back into the mix.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm wrong. It's not. Never mind.
Really? I'm surprised.
No, it's Hidenori Ishida.
It had to have at least been influenced.
Yeah, he's a longtime director. Like, he's got credits back to Kuga. Anywho.
Well, but yeah, like I said, the goons bring the Inves back in so they can run away. Michi and Zack keep fighting the Inves as Kota goes to chase after the goons, only to be caught off guard by Sid. Because, you know, he's got to be a troll.
Mm-hmm.
This is the point where he tells Kota about the giant death laser that they could literally trigger at any given moment. Rightfully pisses Kota off and decides and Kota's in the point of he wants blood kind of deal. One of the few times that he gets to that point. Meanwhile, Michi and Zack made quick work of the Inves. I do agree with you. It did show that Zack kind of struggled, and I almost feel like that's just that difference between the Lockseeds that we've noticed.
Yeah, because I believe it's him, Gridon, and Kurakage are all using nuts as their lock seeds, whereas everyone else is using fruits. And I think the nuts are meant to be lower
It feels that way, at least how it's portrayed. I don't think we ever get official, though, is the thing.
Yeah.
After the investor destroyed Michi heads off to go. I think he technically was going to go back up Kota, is what it was said.
Yeah, he was gonna go help Kota, and then
Yeah,
he gets
quote,
there and it's like,
unquote,
oh,
help.
Sid, you're getting the shit kicked out of you.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna stand here and laugh at you.
Kota gets beat down from Sid because, you know, don't use Jimba until you're almost dead kind of deal.
Basically.
Kota then goes Jimba Lemon. Ends up getting a good hit on Sid, knocking him out for a little bit there, for him to then escape and run away as Michi decides to, you know, be his troll self.
Yeah.
Which is the point that Michi now finds out that Kota knows about the super weapon, which then pisses Michi off at Sid.
Yeah. At least Kota got the cherry energy lock seed out of this.
Yeah, which that one, I think we find out later, is giving him extra speed.
Yeah, based off the one scene, it's Lemon is strength, Cherry is speed, Peach is sense, and we never have official word on what Melon is supposed to be.
I would be willing to bet defense, purely because of what Takatora's base form is.
That would make the most sense. Granted, I always felt Lemon was defense coded outside of that scene, but that was just me.
I would think Lemon would be more offensive.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, now that I say that, there might even be proof in it. Kachidoki's debut pretty much made Kota invincible. And like you even said, Takatora in Melon Energy was keeping up with him. If it is defense based, then that would make sense.
Yeah.
Two shields bashing each other would actually kind of yield the same result.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny, until I actually just said it right there, I didn't even think about it.
Yeah.
But we end the episode with Kaito resolving to find the Overlord that we don't know is an Overlord yet.
I'm pretty sure it's this next episode.
It is.
Hmm.
Also, I'm just gonna do this because I can't stand that way that it did there.
Yeah, I
split
forget
spacing.
to fix that all the time. I'm just like, I'll just leave the notes as is. It's fine.
Okay, it'll stay that way. Okay. But that brings us to episode 22, The Truth of 1/7. I feel like most of these episodes are starting the same way, with Michi telling Kota to just walk away from it.
Yeah, this one's Michi's like, maybe Sid's bluffing. Maybe Sid's lying to you. And Kota's like, why the fuck would he lie to me? And Michi's like, fair point.
Yeah, I love the fact that Michi stops for a second and you can just see the "I hate you right now" Sid.
It's like, why must you be intelligent this one time? Why can't you be stupid?
But as with always, they get interrupted, this time by Mai saying there's a portal on a bridge in the middle of the city where it can't be hidden. Obviously, coming off of that, Kota knows, crap, if something gets seen, then we're all dead. We'll come back to team Backstabbers plus Takatora, I think is what would be better.
Oh, what
you put Team Yggdrasil. And I'm like, well,
yeah.
that's fair. You know.
Weirdly enough, that's what gets used in the summer movie for them.
I mean, I don't disagree. But,
yeah.
Geez, they're not a team.
No, they're not. Not even in that movie are they a team. Because it's still just Takatora versus everybody else on his team, basically.
Yeah, every time. But yeah, we see that Takatora wants to keep people away from it. He wants to set up a defense on the Helheim side of it to try to keep the Invis in Helheim instead of in the city. To which Sid flat out tells him that it's useless. Meanwhile, the other two, yeah, we kind of get the vibes that they're just like, do whatever, as long as we get to nick the city, that works for us.
I wanted to push the big red button. The literal big red button, as we see.
But obviously Takatora says that's last resort, period. And that Sengoku and Minato are going to be the ones leading the defense there. And by that I mean Minato's going to be leading the defense there and Sengoku's going to be sitting there like a jerk. You know, I'm right on that.
I know, I was going to wait till we get there to say anything.
Yeah. But Kota and Michi get there to see that Yggdrasil has the perimeter blocked off and not letting anyone near it. Which then gives Kota the idea to, you know, fight from the other side, which, again, 2 times this one episode, way to have a brain, Kota.
Mm-hmm.
As they're going to try to find the other side of it, they run into Kaito. Obviously, the normal ask for help. He says, screw you, not his concern. He's doing something more important. This is also the point where we find out that both Kota and Kaito know about the giant death laser.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously they split up because Kaito's not needed for this.
Yeah, he's too busy going door to door selling dictionaries. Which they never say that that's what he's dropping off.
Yeah, that's the thing.
As I put in my notes, it looks like he's leaving just a stack of printer paper just randomly around the forest.
And what's bad is that's probably actually what he's doing.
Oh, it wouldn't surprise me if it's just like a big old stack of printer paper.
But Kota and Michi make it to the other side of the tear there. They see Minato actually working with the other Kurokage troopers to, you know, do their job. And Sengoku just sitting there poking buttons. Even though he could be helping too.
Literally just poking buttons.
This leads to the interaction between Kota and Sengoku, where Kota finds out that they're actually trying to do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
They decide to put their differences to the side for the time being, and tells Michi to get Mai and everyone else to safety.
Mm-hmm. I do love that Sengoku's like, Kota asks him, it's like, what are you doing in all this? It's like, oh, I'm using this machine to help close the portal faster. Because like, does it work? And he's like, oh, fuck no, it don't work at all.
Yeah.
I can pretend it works. It's like, I can't close these portals any faster than what they want to. What do you want?
That's the point where it's like, you are such a jerk.
I'm going to pretend like I am contributing to the greater good here because the Takatora said so, and I guess I'm gonna pretend I'm busy. I'll at least put a shield up because I think they have the same sort of shield up that they have at the base.
That clearly doesn't work.
It works sometimes.
This is actually our debut for Jimba Cherry, isn't it? This fight. Yeah, and this is actually where we get to see the speed boost aspect of it. Meanwhile, we go back to Michi convincing Team Gaim to go with him to a quote-unquote new stage. Obviously this is one of the first times that we see Michi lying to other people besides Kota. Because I feel like this is the first time on that. Usually he's just omitting truth.
Mm-hmm.
Who was it that told Kota about Project Art? Was it Sengoku?
It's Sengoku, because basically during that conversation, like, Kota keeps untransforming to talk to Sengoku. Sengoku's just like, oh yeah, we have or he asks him about the drivers, I believe. And Sengoku's like, yeah, we could make about 1 billion of those. And Kota's like, but the world population's 7 billion. He's like, correct. So we have to use the resources we have available to us to cull the population by 6 billion.
Which
and he does
rightfully pisses Kota off.
And he does mean we are culling the population by 6 billion, because they're like, yeah, we have we dabble in agricultural and pharmaceutical stuff, so we have ways.
Yeah.
And it's like,
yeah,
that's fucked.
Yeah.
If you just take a second back and go, that is basically near genocide that they're attempting to engineer. Because as Sengoku puts it, yeah, even if we make 1 billion drivers, we do not want 6 billion more invests to exist.
Which,
on top of...
I guess I can understand that theory.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, holy crap.
Yeah, because you also have to remember the invests convert animals as well.
Yeah.
So that would be, I don't know, whatever the animal population would be already that they're having, they would have to deal with if the forest took over. So it's like, yeah, we need 6 billion less to invest to fight. On top of God knows how many invests are in the forest already that would be there. But it's still fucked. How casually Sengoku's saying this.
Yeah. Instead of them trying to put their eggs in one fruit basket and hoping that they could get someone to just control it.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, I say it that way for reasons.
Yeah. Granted, only I think Sengoku and his team have any idea that that's a possibility, maybe.
I don't even think they know about all of it, kind of deal. I think they barely know the surface of it.
Sengoku has mentioned the Forbidden Fruit at least a couple times, so he might be aware that there might be something.
I know he's made a comment about no one being chosen from the forest yet.
Mm-hmm.
So it's one of those, it might be thought that there's a way to do it, but no one knows 100%.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, obviously during this, Coach is about ready to rip Sengoku out of the chair and just beat him to a pulp. And Minato's like, we got a problem. We focus on this first. Then you can do whatever.
You have higher priorities of the invest, and then you can fight me if you want to.
We'll cut back to Michi as he's leading Team Gaim to an underground bunker. I guess that was all on that part of it.
Basically, they're like, "What stage is this?" And Michi's like, "Oh, I guess I was wrong. Oopsie daisy."
Oh yeah.
As everyone, as the team is just looking around, going, "Everyone's really scared for some reason." And Michi's like, "Oh, I must be something. I don't know." But like, no one on the team's gonna bring it up after this.
Meaning that we kind of have absolutely no use for anything that Michi's doing during all of this, except for setup of, he's fixing to lie to everyone.
Yeah, and I assume all the people in these, like, at least 3 bunkers we see are Yggdrasil family members who have informed that, like, hey, we might have to push the big red button. You need to go to your designated Fallout Center.
I feel like maybe, but at the same time, I don't know. Because it seems like a very close-knit group that knows all of this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So it could just be that they came up with some kind of a live, like, bomb threat or something like that kind of deal.
Yeah.
I highly doubt that everyone there would know, hey, big giant nuke button may be getting hit. Also, we have no definition on how the weapon works, so for all we know, that bunker might not do anything to help them.
From what it looks like just basically 4 or 5 big giant death lasers.
But it won't matter after another episode anyhow, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, we go back to Kota. The portal is closed. Did he just straight up take Minato's lock seed, or was there more to that?
He just straight up, like, they are standing next to each other, they untransform, Sengoku says something, and then Kota just reaches for it, Minato flips him, and he's just got the lock seed, and he's just like, bye, and just books it.
Okay.
he literally just yoinked and ran. Because you can even see him, like, take a second to go, so if this one gives me, okay, I'm going to take this one and see what it does.
But yeah, this is where he goes back to Yggdrasil's portal so he can destroy the weapon. Obviously, Takatora's not going to let this happen. This is probably one of the few decent fights that we get between them two. Obviously, this is the well-written fight too, because it's not just a fight, they actually end up having a argument during all of this.
I was about to say, I don't have the fight written down blow for blow
you
for
don't.
that.
I was just kind of quick glancing here. Looks like, yeah, honestly, this is the first and probably outside of Takatora's quote-unquote death fight, probably the only time we really see him kind of getting pushed back.
Yeah. Yeah, because Koda's meeting him blow for blow on this.
Yeah.
Until eventually Takatora's like, oh, you think our sacrifices are needless. You don't like us taking lives? Well,
here's what you took.
Yeah, it just shows him like, yeah, that first invest you fought, yeah, that was your best friend, and you murked him to survive. That's what it takes. If you want to complain to us, look in the mirror.
Which obviously, this is the point where Takatora completely wins that fight, both on a physical and mental level at that point.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, we end the episode on that sour note.
Mm-hmm.
But you got any thoughts on the first half?
It's a really good setup into Kachidoki because it's like it shows that like, okay, this is what Koda's fighting for, this is what he believes in, and then before he gets Kachidoki, it's the big challenge of like, yeah, you took a life. You took the life of the person that you've been kind of wanting to come back to like pick up the slack that you've had for a while.
Yeah.
And if you're going to hate yourself for sacrificing lives, what happens when you sacrifice a life for your own survival? And technically my survival in that situation.
And it does also kind of... It's funny because not only does it kind of show that side of Kota that he didn't realize was there this whole time, but it also kind of helps drive the fact, and we see it even more so in the next episode, but it helps kind of drive the fact that Michi's really on his heel turn all the way.
Mm-hmm.
Because we fully see it the next episode where Michi admits he knew about it.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, this kind of
like,
helps
what?
drive that home, that it's like, ooh.
Because it's like, why didn't you tell me? It's like, because I knew what it would do to you. And it's like, that's not helping. That doesn't help your case, Michi.
It also is kind of funny that these two episodes tells Kota all three things that Michi was trying to keep from him.
Mm-hmm. And I love how Michi also uses Mai against him. Just be like, you can't tell Mai this. Imagine what it will do to her. And it's like, you's a bitch.
Mm-hmm. But I guess ready to go into the back half?
Yep.
Alright then, episode 23, now depart for the front line, Kachidoki Arms. We pick up with Kaito, still looking for... Honestly, I know we have not had the name through all of these, but Red U.
Yeah. Yeah, his name is Red U.
I think this is the point where we actually find out that they're called overlords by Sengoku, which is funny because that's actually what they are.
Yeah. He's like, there seems to be intelligent beings in the forest who are most likely the people who the forest claimed, but they evolved to survive. And I want to know why and how.
Basically, so that he can replicate it.
Look, there's a reason why we saw in his first scene organic looking drivers as like the next stage.
Well, I mean, I'm sure he's patterning it off of these overlords kind of deal.
And also why it's yeah.
Because if I'm not mistaken, don't all three technically have a belt?
I think they have belts in their design, but they're not meant to be like henshin belts, I don't believe.
Right.
It's not like the greed from O's, where their belt clearly looks like, honestly, it looks like Black's belt.
Yeah, I mean, I know they're not intended to be belts, but I'm wanting to say they're at least belt-like design kind of deal. And that might be what he's kind of patterning them off of as well.
We're wrong. That's not Ryu, that's Demushu.
Oh.
Ryu's the green one.
Yeah.
Oops.
Whoops.
Because I was like, I'm gonna pull up these on the wiki real quick and see if they have belt designs. And then I see, I look, and it's like, oh, oops.
Whoops. Again, I don't think they're actually named until we've actually got all three of them.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, obviously this is where we find out what Kaito's actual task is there. Which I guess is technically the same thing that Sagura's kind of looking for, is who's going to be the one to take over the forest.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of funny that, you know, both sides of it's still converging on one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, then we go and see Takatora and Sid talk about how, well, more Sid complaining that Takatora let Kota go again. To which Takatora's like, he's just a husk. It won't be anything anymore. He'll give up now.
Yeah, we literally see Kota just walking out like the front driveway as they're talking, and Doctor was like, yeah, nah, he's never coming back. It's fine.
That totally isn't foreshadowing for later.
Mm-hmm.
This is also where we find out that Michi knows a backstabber when he sees one, because, you know, it takes one to know one.
Mm-hmm.
And we also find out about Takatora having a bad habit of trusting the wrong people the most. Which, all three of them.
Your entire team is here to stab you in the back. The only person who's technically not trying to stab him in the back is Sakura at the end of the day, it feels like.
Yeah, but that's just because he's doing his own thing.
Exactly. He's not blatantly against Takatora. He's just like, yeah.
We cut to Kota as we see him at the spot where it all started. And he breaks down as he's recalling everything that happened in the first episode there. Maya shows up, and Kota's fixing to tell her as Michi decides to interrupt. Because, of course, Michi knows exactly where Kota is and can stop that before it happens.
He's probably got a tracker on him.
Oh, yeah.
That or the belts have trackers on them.
That I would
It's just
100% believe.
Yeah, Takatoru doesn't know the belts have trackers on them.
Sengoku does.
Yes.
And right now, Michi's in Sengoku's corner. So, this is the point where what we were talking about in the middle there, about Michi basically telling Kota, yeah, I know, but I didn't tell you because this. And him coming up with the idea of don't tell Mai because it'll just hurt her kind of deal, which then gives everyone that has missed it up to this point the main reason why Michi does the hard heel turn like he does.
It's all for Mai. It's always been for Mai.
We cut back to Helheim, where actually Redyu picks up one of the dictionaries that Kaito's been just throwing around.
And some gold plate that I'm not sure what the hell is. I didn't look at it hard enough to understand it, but I'm like, there's some gold plate in there with the dictionary.
There's no telling.
But I think it's supposed to be some star constellation thing, maybe.
Maybe. Kaito then runs into Demoshu, right?
Yep.
Okay. I do not have it up, so.
Fair. Did your subs have their dialogue translated?
No, and I thought that I had the TV Nihon subs, which I could have swore they did.
Mine did not either, and it's probably an old version of the TV Nihon subs, because I believe they're the week-to-week subs. And that, I don't think, would have had it translated.
Okay. I know one of the subgroups went back and did it, so that might be the case.
I feel like I know the subgroup that did, but I do not remember them offhand.
Because I feel like I remember... I'm wanting to say I remember not watching it like immediate when it first was subbed.
Mm-hmm.
Like a day or two out, and they had it.
Yeah, because
I don't remember who it was either.
Yeah, much like the Rongi from Kuga, the Overlord language is just a coded version of Japanese language. So as soon as you figure out this is that and that is this, then you've got the entire thing translated.
But yeah, Kaito finds him, who you can clearly tell is Kaito's opposite right here.
Yeah, that
gets pissed at the dictionary and decides the sword is better than words.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, who does that sound like?
I know they only do it for the core 4. I wonder if they ever thought about having more parallels with the Overlords, because we do get more than just the core 3 here and the main one from the movie that are meant to be the parallels for our core 4 riders. But I don't know if the others were ever meant to be parallels with the other riders.
Probably not, but I mean, it's possible.
There's just not as much visual and character parallels to help as it does with these.
But yeah, obviously our two hotheads go at it.
Mm-hmm.
Kaito does not stand a match to Demoshu at all.
No, he's. I think, as Reggie puts it later, he is being toyed with. He is little more than a plaything.
I think Reggie was more pointing to Kota as being the toy, but yeah.
Oh yeah.
It still applies here too.
Mm-hmm.
We cut to Kota where he's at Drooper's contemplating what Michi said. I think, isn't this all just a quote-unquote dream sequence, though?
It's like a dream sequence / hallucination, because Kota does end up in the same location at the end of it in Droopers that he does in this sequence, with the lock seats in front of him. So mentally he's wherever this is, but physically he does move. Probably in the Drooper sequence.
Yeah. But I think the part even at the Team Gaim HQ, I think that was even technically part of this whole sequence.
Yeah.
But at least it's using that setting. Future Maya comes and just tells him to come to terms with his past and back off, kind of deal. Obviously, Kota's not gonna do that, and I think we find out later that all the future Mai sequences are not exactly what she was trying to tell them.
Yeah, but this also feels like the most like Mai is actually trying to. This is actually her saying what she wants to say in this situation. Maybe
I don't know. I honestly don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I could see this one being more of a maybe her telling him that you've got to come to terms with that, but don't back down. Mm-hmm. Stay true to what you feel is right. Because that, truthfully, that I feel like that would be what she would be kind of pushing anyhow. Not so much to keep him fighting, but don't back down on what you love, because that's kind of her whole thing.
Yeah.
So that's one of those, I don't know. I feel like that one might be closer to what she was wanting to say, but not exact.
Yeah.
Obviously, we go back to Droopers as he wakes up thinking that he's in a dream, which, spoiler, he still is.
Mm-hmm.
Sakura then kind of gets him to confront and remember his resolve and remember why he's gotten as far as he has.
Mm-hmm. Because,
fun fact, someone here is fixing to be chosen.
Yeah.
Very
I do
quickly.
love that. I do love Sakura's whole point in all of this is just if the rules of this world demand sacrifice for hope, fuck the rules then. Break those rules. Make new rules.
Yeah. It's one of those. I didn't realize until the rewatch. Sakura actually gives Kota the answer that gets done at the end of the show.
Mm-hmm.
Right here.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like, yeah, he's fixing to get chosen very quickly. Because I honestly think Kachidoki is the point. Which is the other reason why everyone likes the form so much.
Mm-hmm.
This kind of is the point of there is no turning back for Kota now.
Mm-hmm.
And the end of the show is kind of dictated by this scene right here.
Yeah. Kota has decided, I will do whatever it takes to get a happy ending, even if it means I don't get to be a part of it. Which is how this show ends.
Yeah. This is also the point where we fully know that Sagura is more than what he lets on to be. Because we get to see him literally take a physical orange and turn it into Kachidoki.
Yeah, it does have that mid, like, mechanical orange state that it's in before it becomes the lock seed, which...
we get to see a second time.
Yeah.
Which...
I always find it weird that it has that in-between state. I don't know what the purpose of the in-between state is. Unless it's just meant to be symbolic.
I think it's more supposed to be symbolic, but it also makes me wonder if that's the like convergence point kind of concept, where it's taking the magic of Helheim combined with the realism of the world to maybe accelerate Helheim's takeover kind of deal.
Maybe.
Because bear in mind, all the way up until the final choice, everything is accelerating at this point. That 10 years that Takatora said that they've got, yeah, you can throw that out. They have, what, 6 months kind of deal?
Basically.
This is also the same conversation that Kota finds out what Kaito's doing. Not explicitly, but for the most part.
Yeah.
And he also learns about the overlords, and this is where we get the Helheim side of it, actually calling them overlords. Which is interesting, because how did Sengoku come up with the exact same thing?
It's almost like the show's hints at a time loop, but there isn't a time loop.
Right?
Which I feel like might have been an early plan, but they backed off hard on that one because it's like, no, we're not doing a time loop.
Probably for the best. Because I feel like that would have just confused things more.
I feel like Geo needed the time loop twist, but that's neither here nor there.
Geo needed a lot.
Yeah, it needed
It needed another pass through the writing room. But yeah, this is where we find out that the overlords have become lazy rulers, and even though they can control the forest, they pretty much just let it do whatever. Which then gives ever the optimistic Kota the idea of, I can go talk to them and they'll get it to quit. That totally won't blow up in his face at all.
Yeah.
I think this is also, yeah, this is when we also find out about Sengoku knowing a lot of this and manipulating Kaito into doing his work, except for Kaito's not. He's doing it for himself.
Yeah, Kaito's not being manipulated, and more so he's like, oh, this is exactly what I want.
It's one of those,
like they might.
You're trying to manipulate me, but this is actually what I want. So
Joke's
deal.
On you. Joke's on you. I want the same thing.
We done talked about how Kachidoki's made. But yeah, that and a dandelion gets left for Kota.
Yeah. He's got to have one of every vehicle.
I mean, they're like Pokemon. Gotta catch them all.
Mm-hmm. Gotta fill out that in-screen lock seat screen.
Before we see Kota making his bum rush / debut of Kachidoki, we get to see Kaito lose his fight, and Minato ended up saving him, which I think is probably a sign of us seeing the Genesis drivers are still weak compared to the Overlords, but they're at least closer than the Sengoku drivers.
Mm-hmm.
Which also, I think, kind of gives us the hint of Kaito's got an upgrade coming, but it's not there yet. Because I really feel like this whole thing right here probably could have been the point they could have just wrote Kaito out.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Kota, he just goes base orange, don't he?
Yeah, he just goes vanilla orange straight in. What's also funny is if you pay attention to how the CG looks, the armor on him is not like modified like it does when it transforms. It looks like the actual, if you've seen the arms change toys, because they do a lot of mass shifting on the armors to make them fit better. The CG model does not do that mass shifting, so it looks bulkier on him.
And that's kind of the bad thing when it comes down to the vehicles, because it seems like more often than not when they're quick doing it like that, yeah, the CGI doesn't catch it all the way.
Yeah, which is just a funny thing to just be like, oh, the CG model is based off how the toys look instead of how he's actually supposed to look.
But as he approaches the tower, Takatora sees this and is puzzled as to how in the world he is able to still fight. You know, this is one of the few points where I'm like, Takatora, you broke his spirit. He still got the belt. You should have took the belt.
Yeah.
But this is the point where the gift comes in handy. Kota gets shot out of the sky, transforms into Kachidoki, and somehow manages to spin himself around and land proper.
Yeah, they show that there might be some like jet stuff on the suit visually, which is how he lands. This is like the only time you ever see that.
Yeah, because it doesn't ever come up again. But we get our first look at Kachidoki, the DJ gun, and just how much of a walking tank Kota can be now.
Yeah, because he's fighting like 15 some odd Kurokage troopers on dandyliners that are all taking pot shots at him, and Kota's like, nope, nope, nope. Here's a shot for you. Here's a shot. No finishers, mind you. Just vanilla shots from the DJ gun. He does not pop a single finisher this entire fight.
During all the battle, we cut in to see Sengoku and Michi both surprised.
And especially Sengoku, because he's like, oh, Lockseed, I don't know about. What the fuck?
And Michi surprised, followed by pissed, because Kota just won't listen to him. It's almost like Kota's got main character energy or something.
Maybe we need to be a better friend.
Let's see. I do like the fact that we get to see every fighting style for Kachidoki. because that's the other thing that usually happens too. We usually get the transformation at the very end of one episode, the fight sequence at the beginning of the next episode, to only show half of the capabilities.
Oh, well, we don't see the combined sword mode. But that's next episode.
I thought we did. No, that is next episode with Sid. Yeah.
He just pulls the Muso Saber to defend himself against Takatora. He doesn't put the gun in the sword.
Okay, well then, never mind.
We still get like 90% of what this form's capable of.
I do like the fact that we find out that the flags kind of can double as swords.
Yeah.
I don't think we've really had too many forms that part of the suit can actually become part of the weapons too.
Nothing comes to mind immediately. Yeah, no, nothing really comes.
I can't think of anything. Because, I mean, I guess loosely the closest thing we've got would be Saber. Because the belt's doubling as their weapons also.
Yeah.
But that's really probably the closest that we've got to it.
The only other thought I had was Ryuki with the vents that they summon are pieces of their contract monsters, but that's not a part of their suit. That's a part of a different suit that is not theirs.
Huh.
Yeah, they're
Well, there's just so much with Kachidoki that I completely can understand why everyone loves it.
Yeah. As the Kiwami defender, yes, I understand all the love for Kachidoki, but I'm also like, I love when Kota gets to be the weapon master in Kiwami and show off just how much he's learned from everybody else from fighting them and applies that.
I will argue with people that say Kachidoki should have been the final form. Kiwami feels like the proper final form.
Yeah.
I can understand wanting to defend it, though. It is such a powerful form for everything that it means. It's just not final form. I mean, it really does not have that draw for it there. But yeah, as this is going on, we get to see future Mai and Sakura have a little bit of a conversation where she asks why he keeps on pushing, to then see the thing that kind of leads towards that whole time loop possibly was a thing.
Yeah.
As Sakura comments about her being the woman at the start of it all.
Yeah. And even says that, like, you chose him to start with.
I feel like this is supposed to be pointing to that whole time loop concept.
Also, apparently the dialogue for the counterpart to the scene in a later episode is different. Like, completely different.
Yeah. I feel like I remember it being different, too. But yeah, I feel like that's pointing to that rewrite concept. But yeah,
which we might be hearing.
this is where we kind of find out that Sakura is just a quote unquote watcher who wants to see who will take the forbidden fruit kind of deal.
Yeah, sure he is.
Yeah.
I was gonna say we're probably entering an era of Rider where that's not happening anymore, because it's been found out that Zets has been in production for way longer, even than Gav was. The metadata for the show says it's been in production, or it's been filming since January.
I feel like that's a good and a bad thing. It's good because it can combat if we had a case like how COVID hit. It's bad because you've got shows that actually got to rewrite stuff, Gaim being one of them, because of fan reaction.
Yeah, we won't have that, like, Date got saved because people went, oh fuck, Date's cool, we don't want him to die, or hey, Kaito got more form stuff because people liked him. Like, we probably won't get that anymore, but whether or not that breaks the show, I guess we'll see.
But yeah, back with Kota, we see Takatora enter the scene. They exchange words. Seems like Takatora's still holding his own with Kota, maybe even still being more powerful. But I think that's more just experience.
I think they're on even playing fields now, because when Kota took that hit, he also immediately went to the thing and was like, look, I'm not here to actually fight, I'm here to blow this shit up, I'm gonna blow it up and peace out, bye. Which
he does exactly that, which then sends Sengoku into a rage, telling Michi that you find out who gave him that lock seed, because I'm gonna kill him.
Sees the conversation where Michi tells them, and they're like, he's lying, that can't be right. And I'm like, did none of y'all do a background check on him?
Apparently not. I thought Minato saved Kaito in 23. Was that really the beginning of 24?
It might have been the beginning of 24, because I know they were cutting to the fight in 23, but they might have left the start of the fight to 24. Or the end of the fight to 24.
They might have then. I thought that was part of the last one that we'd saw. Huh. Sorry, I scrolled down and I saw that and I'm like, wait a minute. What? I thought that was back there. Hold on. Did I get off? But yeah, I guess that'll bring us into episode 24 proper then. The new formidable enemy, Overlord. Apparently this is the point where Minato comes in and saves Kaito's rear end before getting completely killed. As they break away and Minato asks Kaito why the heck he was being stupid, we see Reggie kind of watching from the distance. Which, I think this is the first proper time we get to see a second Overlord.
Yes.
Because I think we only saw Reggie's arm pick up the dictionary before.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like I said earlier, the fact of Minato saving Kaito kind of shows that the Genesis driver might not be on par, but it at least can keep up with the Overlords a little more. Oh, this is the point where you mentioned about the special.
Yeah, but I must have. I probably have a review for it, but I have it not listed as an episode number. Because for reference, all of the reviews I did, they're just titled by I think the episode numbers.
Sounds about right. We cut back to Michi and Mai. I guess they were making a sign. I don't think we ever got to see what.
It's a sign for something. I assume for the dance teams.
Probably.
Because I don't know what else they'd be making a sign for.
But this pretty much mainly just serves as Michi being a low-struck puppy kind of deal. And my expressing her concerns about Kota trying too hard, which is just sticking that knife farther. To which Michi gets the second lie in, saying about how he's keeping an eye on Kota and keeping him out of trouble. Sure you are. Keeping an eye on him, yeah.
Need to be a better friend.
We also see that Michi is not just a horrible friend, but also is just in search of any kind of power. And is willing to make anyone look pathetic if need be, kind of deal.
He's lost in the sauce at this point.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We switch back over to Kota to watch him finishing trying up all the lock seeds he's got, as we find out he hasn't tried the peach lock seed yet. This is the point where it kind of shows us that Lemon is power focused, Cherry is speed focused, and Peach, you've got to hear senses, but I think hearing's the only thing we ever know of.
It's probably meant to be hearing, which is the same as Kuga's Pegasus form. Which I'm surprised they didn't give it the same downside as Kuga Pegasus, where it's like, yeah, he can only be in there for like 5 seconds before everything overwhelms him.
I have to think it's because the driver allows it to kind of focus different things.
Yeah. Because that's the downside with super hearing. When you can hear anything, you can hear everything.
Yeah.
And it's noise.
But this is when he hears Michi. I feel like Michi said something about Kota. But I don't think it was caught enough to be sub. But they end up, he calls Michi over. This is when Kota tells him about the Overlords, which I don't think Michi knew about at this point.
No.
And about how Kota's got the delusion of he's going to talk to them and tell them to stop it. And Kota also opens his mouth about Sakura. To which Michi, the one that's trying to use people, is like, you know, he's probably just trying to use you, right? And Kota, much like Kaito, is like, yeah, I know, but I kind of want this now too, so we're going for it.
It's like, well, I either go along with this or we all die, so I guess I play along.
It's one of those, how is both of our main riders just perfectly content with being used?
It's called We Would Not Have a Plot Otherwise.
But this is where Michi decides that he's gonna have to make Kota suffer more to get him to learn. Which apparently in Michi's eyes means go tell Takatora about it in front of everyone else and watch the other three freak out and be like, you shut up right now. Quit talking.
And again, he just straight up tells him, it's like, yeah, Sakura gave him walk seat, and everybody in the room is like, bullshit. He's just some DJ guy. Who the fuck do... Again, like, no one thinks he's capable of anything, apparently. Oh yeah, this is where we cut to seeing Sakura talking to Redyu and Demushu. I don't think we get to really see a whole lot of it outside of the fact that he tells them that, you know, basically don't be arrogant, that they can end up killing you. Yeah, since we don't have the translated dialogue, we have no idea what they're saying most of the time. I'm also wondering, are you trying to hide that it's Sakura? Because Rosie can tell you that that's Sakura. You're not even hiding his voice, and you're only half hiding his face.
I don't think that was the intent. I think it was a case of how he appeared to them was in that form, whereas how he's appearing to everyone now is in the DJ form.
Yeah. This is kind of funny. It's just like he has this big, like, scarf that half hides his face, and I'm like, that is the half of his face that you can't hide to obscure his identity, because he's the one with, I think he's like not really a mohawk, but he's got the very different haircut from everybody else in this show, and it's like, you're not hiding that.
It feels like his outfit when he's in front of the overlords is more of like a Middle Eastern kind of look.
He looks like someone who stepped out of like I'm trying to think, like Arabian Nights or something. Like he just stepped out of something like that.
That would make sense, because from the ruins that we saw, it almost looked like that was the vibe they were wanting to try to go with. So perhaps that civilization was more akin to like that. So he would look natural then by doing that. What's odd is the fact that after they became the overlords they are now, the fact that he didn't change appearance.
Yeah.
I don't really think it's meant to hide him. Just like I don't really think that Future Mai is meant to change the fact that everyone knows it's Mai.
Yeah. It's more meant to be that mystery of like, okay, why is Sakura this and why is Mai this? Since everyone whenever they see Future Mai knows it's Mai.
Yeah. And that's why I kind of think that it's kind of the same kind of deal with Sakura. It's not so much a case of they're trying to hide him, it's just that's apparently how he looked to them.
I guess because since they know what he really is, he's like, well, I might as well just not change. Y'all are used to me like this. It's, you know, what I really am.
It won't make yins want to stab me every time that I appear.
Granted, I had that thought just now. Can anyone really kill him?
I doubt it.
Because we don't even know what he really is. Since he does have this kind of like holographic state. Is he even like a real person? Like if you try to stab him, does it just like go straight through?
I feel like he's the, I guess for lack of a better term, the avatar for the forest.
Yeah. He doesn't feel like a real person, so it's like you can't kill him because he's not real to start with. Like you'd have to kill the very idea of the Helheim Forest to kill him, and this show's not interested in that idea.
Yeah. This show's interested in the opposite of that.
Mm-hmm.
Then we go back to Sengoku, Minato, and Sid. As Sengoku's like, okay, Takatora still doesn't know. He's not believing Michi right now. We've got to shut everyone out now. We get rid of Kota, then we go from there. To which, this is the point where Sid makes a comment about he gets to use his trump card this time.
Yeah.
Which isn't really a trump card. Just saying.
Oh no, he can summon 3 unarmed watermelon armors.
And control them all 3 at the same time.
Ooh. It's like the best they could come up with for this Loxy that's been in the show since the beginning.
Yeah. Yeah. Of course, this was also before, you know, we had Invincible the power up.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Okay. We cut to Maya. She's practicing dancing. Kaito walks up. They start talking about the beat riders, and basically we find out that nothing has changed on their views on power.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is one of the points where Kaito's like, when your way works, I will completely accept your way of power, but until then, no, I'm doing it my way.
Yeah.
Then we cut back to Kota in Helheim as he's using Jimbo Peach to try to track down the overlords. This is where Sid gets to use 3 watermelon arms and not even fight himself.
Nope.
To fight Kota. Kota goes Kachidoki and literally takes out all of them. Switches to Jimbo Cherry and tells Sid to go have fun.
Yeah, and I think this fight's also the first time we get Rise Up Your Flag, which is Kachidoki's theme, which is sung by Kota's actor. Because his actor does Rise Up Your Flag, Kaito does the song for himself, and then the 2 of them do Rambu Escalation.
Kota finds the hideout where the overlords have been. He's in Jimbo Peach at the moment because he's still in tracking mode.
Mm-hmm.
Redyu, we learn actually his, took to practice in Japanese and can now speak better. And tells Kota to be a better toy. Obviously, this entire time Kota is trying to get them to stop beating him to a pulp so they can talk, which neither one of them want any part of that.
Mm-hmm.
They knock him out of his transformation, and I think, don't they just leave at this point?
They dangle him by a vine and then tell him, try better next time. Bye. And just teleport away.
And I don't think it sways Kota's decision for any amount of time now.
No.
I think he's still in that for like the next few episodes of, I'm gonna talk to them. They will stop this if I talk to them, and no, they won't.
And what's bad is I think the only one that ever wanted to talk, he barely gets a conversation with before they're dead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Takatora talks to that overlord more than he does.
Yeah.
Which is appropriate because that's his parallel.
Yeah. That ends that unless you can think of more that I might have skipped over or something.
No, it's a great debut, a good follow-up, because this last episode starts the whole Overlord part of the show.
Which is funny, I think each of the upgrades kind of pushes to that next phase of the show.
I believe so. Which works.
It's almost like the upgrades were written for the show instead of the show being written to justify the upgrades.
Which I like it when that's better. It ties everything together better instead of it being like, here's the thing to sell the toy. Well, then it lacks meaning and depth and doesn't add to the show at all.
Which I almost feel like is what has kind of happened with Ryder beyond this. Because Drive doesn't really do it. Drive's kind of the exception of that, but for the most part, a lot of it's outside of the mid-season form. There's not really anything that kind of pivots for the rest of it.
Yeah.
Your early upgrade, it's just there to be there.
The Drive forms have meaning in the moment, but not in the wider context of the series.
Yes and no. I mean, it does. Dead Heat kind of falls into the same as what I was just saying there.
Yeah.
But Formula kind of does pivot the story.
Mm-hmm.
And then Trideron kind of finalizes it.
Yeah.
I think if Dead Heat had more of an emphasis, it would probably be outside of that area, but I think because of Dead Heat just kind of being there. At least for Drive's use of Dead Heat. Mach's use of it has its own story importance there. But I mean, outside of that, I mean, truthfully, most of the others all the way up, the forms are just kind of there to be there. Sometimes the mid-season form kind of pushes it, but outside of that, meh.
Yeah.
Gaim, I honestly think, is probably the last one that every form actually has pushed the story farther.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's probably why Gaim's all of his ancillary forms are pretty memorable. And also, weirdly, I think all of his upgrade forms are universal. They're not just his, technically. at this point, outside of Kiwami.
Well, yes and no.
Yeah.
Because Orange Kachidoki, yeah, no.
Yeah. The concept of Kachidoki is universal, it seems like, since we have Sengetsu Kachidoki now. And we have, I think, counting the novel, at least 3 to 4 different versions of Jimba, even with energy lock seeds that Kota never used.
Which, I mean, Jimba makes sense. Because Kota's driver can't be the only one that can utilize the Genesis core.
Yeah.
If it is, then that seems like a very stupid design on Sengoku's part.
Mm-hmm. Although, I'm trying to remember if Takatora's lock seed has anything special if you do insert Kiwami into it. Because the toy itself is the same mold as Kota's. So it has the same port. I'm pretty sure it doesn't. Unlike Band's version of Max Mighty, which does have a special sound if you try to put Muteki into it. It basically plays it has him singing the Muteki theme.
Oh, Jesus. Of course it does.
Yeah. But now he has a different version of Max Mighty and his own Muteki so that he has his Super Sephiroth form. Because we had to basically give Dan a version of every single gas hat that Emu had at this point. Man, that's all I got.
But I guess on that note then, we will be back in 2 weeks with more Gaim. Well, less than 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Because we're on a different day. But yeah. But between now and then, Thursday possibly, CAD?
It'll be CAD. I'm not as that terribly off. I should be fine in a few days.
Possibly CAD?
Yeah.
Because I know how that can go. You might feel fine now, but that might not be the case come Thursday.
Look, as soon as we're done, I'm going to go take a dose of nighttime and then sleep.
Fair. Friday will be more Tales from the Cube as we do Knockout Kings and Swingers Golf. I don't know how that's gonna turn out.
The Knockout Kings might be fine.
Maybe.
Look, there was a time and place when EA did good sports games, even if they weren't arcade-based.
I mean, yeah, but we've not had the best of luck with sports games.
To fair.
Yeah. That Saturday will be Sonic 3 and Knuckles. I'm gonna call it race, but it's gonna be see who gets farther in the game. And next Sunday will be TGS. But if you like what you see, drop a follow, really appreciate it. If you want to throw subs or bits, you can do that as well. Exclamation point YouTube in chat will give you a link to the YouTube where all the archives are. Exclamation point social in chat will give you links to all the social medias. And exclamation point Discord in chat will give you a link to the Discord. Drop by, say hi, there's a Dropbox for questions there. And you got anything else to add?
Right now, there's nothing going up on the YouTube at the moment because I'm sick. I'll get to it as soon as I'm better, and that'll be the TGSs for 2022.
I mean, fair. But yeah, anything else?
Nope.
Then we'll see y'all next time.